girls, I had to be in an airplane for a long time to come here. I had to take 3 airplanes yesterday to get here. And on my way, on the last airplane, I met someone from Downs. And he told me a story. And I'm going to tell you that story. Now, he told me about a park. Now, I'm not sure if I get the right name. The Rhodes Park, or what's it called? Roadside Park, that's right. He told me this story. And it's about a werewoman. Now, what is a werewoman? What is a werewoman? It's a woman that's like a werewolf, that's right. Well, this man, listen carefully, this man told me this story about a werewoman. You see, when his grandfather was young, he had a friend. What's a fiddle? It's like a violin. Now, this young man lived very close to the roadside park. Long time ago, in the pioneer days, when most of Downs wasn't here, just a few cabins. Well, back then, do you think he made very much money playing the fiddle? No, he didn't. He loved a young lady with long hair and the most fascinating eyes you have ever seen. And he wanted to buy his lady love a present. Do you think he could afford to buy a present? No, he couldn't. But he was told by a friend of his that if he went out to where that roadside park is today, on the night of the full moon, and if he went into that forest, because it was a forest back then, he should look for a clearing. What is a clearing? Anyone on this side? Yes, what's a clearing? A big empty space in the forest. And he should look for a big rock. And he should sit on that rock on the night of the full moon. And if it was the night of the full moon, a werewoman would come by. And he should shoot that werewoman. And he should take his knife and cut her ear right off. Take it to City Hall, and the mayor would get $5. Now, today, 100 years ago, was $5 a lot of money? Yes, it was. So, one night, on the night of the full moon, this young man went into the forest. He took his gun, and he took his fiddle, and he went to that clearing. He sat on the rock. He put his gun down. He took his fiddle, and he began to play. Rumba-diddla-diddla-day, rumba-diddla-diddla-day. And he played, and he played, and he played. Slowly it got darker, and darker, and darker. Rumba-diddla-diddla-day, rumba-diddla-diddla-day. It got so dark that he couldn't even see his hand in front of his face. Rumba-diddla-diddla-day, rumba-diddla-diddla-day. And then, on the other side of the clearing, he saw 2 eyes coming through the forest. Closer and closer, and then a she-wolf stepped out into the clearing. And then that she-wolf stepped closer and closer and closer. And then she jumped into the air. He put down his fiddle, he grabbed his gun, kapow! That she-wolf pounced upon his chest, knocked him to the ground, and disappeared into the forest. His heart was pounding. Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. actually shot. He hadn't actually shot that werewoman, but he knew that the bullet had grazed her right here where your wrist would be. He had seen in the moonlight a glisten of red blood. Well, on the next Friday night, the young man went to visit his lady love at her little cabin near the forest. And she listened to his story about the werewoman, and her eyes were bright as she listened to the story. But after the story, she went and got him a glass of lemonade, and she handed it to him. And in the moonlight, when she handed that glass of lemonade, what did he see on her wrist? Tell me as a group, what did he see? He saw a glisten of red blood right there on her wrist. He closed his eyes. He tried not to show it in his face, but he said to himself, "Oh, my lady love cannot be a werewoman." Well, he did his best to put it out of his thoughts. Well, on the next night of the full moon, where do you think he went? Back to the forest where there was and at one end there was a big rock. And he sat on that rock, and he took his fiddle, he had his gun to one side, he played rum-ba-diddle-di-diddle-di-day. Everything happened the way it did before. It got darker and darker and darker, and then the moon began to rise higher and higher and higher. And when the moon was full in the sky, rum-ba-diddle-di-diddle-di-day, he saw. What did he see coming through the forest? Two eyes coming closer and closer. Rum-ba-diddle-di-diddle-di-day, rum-ba-diddle-di-diddle-di-day. And then a werewoman stepped out in the clearing, closer and closer and closer. And then she jumped into the air. He put down his fiddle and grabbed his gun. Kapow! That werewoman pounced upon his chest, knocked him to the ground. His heart pounded. Boom, 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 boom. He felt so lucky he was alive. And once again, he was sure that he had not shot her. But in that moonlight, he had seen a glisten of blood right here where your temple would be. Well, on the next night, the next Friday night, he went to visit his lady love. And they talked and they talked and they talked, and he told her all about the werewoman. And you know how girls, sometimes when they talk, they throw their hair back? Well, she did that. And what did he see glistening in the moonlight right there? Tell me. Blood right there on her temple. He closed his eyes again. He said, "Oh, please do not be a werewoman." Well, on the next night of the full moon, tell me, where did the young man go?